There's no denying it, dreamchaser is in a tough spot right now because it no longer has a rocket for its first launch as initially planned. So who's going to step in and help? None other than SpaceX. But don't expect it to be the Falcon 9. So which SpaceX rocket will be used, Falcon Heavy or Starship? Let's dive into that in today's episode. We know that ULA United Launch Alliance was keen to move forward with its second launch in September. This launch is crucial because it's the final step needed for their new rocket to be certified for carrying out security missions for the Department of Defense (DoD). However, Sierra Space informed ULA that it might not be ready to meet the September deadline and would need to step aside so ULA could continue with its certification process. Despite this delay, Sierra Space has stated that their first dreamchaser spacecraft, named Tenacity, is still on track for its debut mission before the end of the year. In early May, Tenacity, along with its expendable shooting star cargo module, successfully completed environmental testing. These tests are crucial for making sure the spacecraft can withstand the intense conditions of launch and orbit. Afterward, the spacecraft was moved to NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where it's now going through its final checks before launch. While the delay is disappointing for space enthusiasts who have been eagerly awaiting Dreamchaser's first mission, it's a wise decision by Sierra Space. By taking extra time for testing, they're ensuring that the first launch will be as smooth and successful as possible. Sierra Space likely learned from Boeing's experience with the Starliner spacecraft, which faced numerous issues and is currently stuck in space with no clear return date. They understand that any failure in space can have serious consequences, and they're committed to avoiding those mistakes. Another possible reason for the separation between Dreamchaser and the Vulcan rocket could be a misjudged partnership from the beginning between ULA and Sierra Space. ULA might have made a mistake by choosing a developing spacecraft like Dreamchaser as their payload, especially when their primary focus should have been on getting their new rocket operational as quickly as possible. On the other hand, the development of Dreamchaser has been moving at a slower pace and hasn't been able to keep up with ULA's timeline. From Sierra Space's perspective, opting for Vulcan, a rocket that hasn't even been fully proven yet, was a risky choice. The multiple delays for Vulcan, now aiming for its first flight in January 2024, have highlighted the dangers of this decision. Both ULA and Sierra Space seem to have underestimated the challenge of aligning their development schedules. By the time Vulcan is finally ready, it will likely be in high demand, but Dreamchaser might still not be prepared. In the worst-case scenario, this could mean that Dreamchaser won't even get to launch this year. First, it's important to keep in mind that ULA's production rate for the Vulcan rocket isn't particularly fast, despite their busy schedule. Additionally, Vulcan's readiness is closely tied to Blue Origin's B4 engine, which has experienced delays. As of July, CERT-2 hasn't even launched yet, making it difficult to predict when CERT-3 will be ready. There's also uncertainty about whether Dreamchaser will even be able to launch on CERT-3. ULA might prioritize that flight for a payload under the USSF National Security Space Launch contract instead. With the Delta IV Heavy retired and only 16 Atlas V missions remaining, all of which have been scheduled mainly for Kuiper satellite launches and Starliner missions, Vulcan is set to become the primary vehicle for the USSF contract, with a backlog of over 20 flights. Moreover, Vulcan has 2 missions, USSF 106 and USSF 87, that must be completed this year. As the deadline for Phase 2 of the contract approaches, and with ULA selected for Phase 3, the chances of Dreamchaser launching on Vulcan are dwindling. If any further issues arise, Dreamchaser's launch could be postponed indefinitely. So, with Vulcan out of the picture, how will Dreamchaser manage to get off the ground? At this point, it seems that SpaceX is the only viable option to launch the new spaceplane. Sierra Space has always maintained that Dreamchaser would be compatible with various launch vehicles, including the Falcon 9, and honestly, Falcon 9 is an ideal choice. It's the most frequently launched rocket each year, known for its impressive reliability and increasing launch cadence. SpaceX offers unmatched flexibility, with the capability to schedule launches within just a few days, sometimes even hours, depending on demand. This quick turnaround is a huge advantage for any payload looking to stick to a tight launch schedule. When compared to other providers, SpaceX's record speaks for itself. Since the Falcon 9 failure in 2015, SpaceX has completed nearly a decade of successful missions. This consistency is a major draw, particularly for customers with critical or time-sensitive payloads. Other launch service providers often face technical setbacks and frequent delays, making SpaceX a more dependable choice for Dreamchaser's maiden flight. Currently, Falcon 9 isn't quite right for Dreamchaser. With the addition of the shooting star module, Dreamchaser's total mass grows to 14.5 tons-5.5 tons, more than its original 9-ton weight. While Falcon 9 could technically handle this weight, Dreamchaser requires a more powerful second stage and better aerodynamic handling, which means it needs larger fairings, like those used on Falcon Heavy. Falcon Heavy, another SpaceX rocket, could be a better fit. It has a perfect track record and is known for its ability to handle heavier, more demanding payloads. However, Falcon Heavy launches are less frequent compared to Falcon 9. If Sierra Space isn't in a rush, they might consider waiting for SpaceX's Starship, which is the largest rocket in development and capable of carrying almost any type of cargo. Starship is still undergoing test flights, but it offers a lot of potential for the future. Back to Dreamchaser. With the Shooting Star service module, Dreamchaser can carry up to 5,500 kilograms of both pressurized and unpressurized cargo to the space station. This includes essentials like food, water, supplies, and scientific experiments. After delivering its cargo, Dreamchaser can return up to 1.5 tons of critical cargo to Earth with a gentle runway landing. When compared to Dragon, which carries around 1,500 kilograms of pressurized cargo, and Cygnus, which handles up to 3,700 kilograms, Dreamchaser offers more capacity. This is largely due to its specialized cargo module, designed to manage about 3,400 kilograms of ISS waste. The waste module will burn up upon re-entry, while Dreamchaser itself is built to handle up to 1,800 kilograms of work. Designed for high reusability, Dreamchaser helps cut costs and offers quick turnaround between missions. Its versatility allows it to launch on various rockets and land on different runways, making it a flexible and reliable choice for transportation. After departing the space station, Dreamchaser's Shooting Star module takes care of disposal services. Once separated from Dreamchaser, Shooting Star safely burns up upon re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. Originally conceived as a crewed space plane for NASA's Commercial Crew Program, Dreamchaser was designed to carry up to 7 astronauts to and from the space station and other low Earth orbit destinations. Measuring 30 feet 9 meters in length, it's about a quarter of the size of the space shuttle and can accommodate up to 7 crew members. The crewed version of Dreamchaser shares roughly 85% of its design with the cargo version, which means changes are mainly limited to windows, environmental controls, and life support systems. Additionally, it includes an integrated main propulsion system for abort scenarios and major orbital maneuvers. As Sierra Space works through its current challenges and develops effective plans and timelines, Dreamchaser could bring even more excitement to the space race in the future. Starliner's prolonged delay, now stuck in orbit, serves as a significant lesson for all new spacecraft, including Dreamchaser. Despite years of development, Dreamchaser has yet to make its first flight and has faced continual delays since 2021. So what's causing these delays for Dreamchaser, and how has NASA responded? Will Dreamchaser repeat Starliner's mistakes? The highly anticipated launch of Dreamchaser will be delayed further. During a recent press conference, EULA's CEO Tory Bruno revealed that Sierra Space's spacecraft is facing additional setbacks. Dreamchaser will be swapped out for a different payload on Vulcan Centaur's second certification launch, CERT-2. EULA's CEO Tory Bruno announced that Sierra Space has informed them that Dreamchaser won't be ready in time for the September launch. Instead, EULA will use an astrobotic lunar lander for this mission. Despite this setback, Sierra Space assures that Dreamchaser is still on track for its first mission later this year. Bruno shared they are quite disappointed. Being on CERT-2 was very important to them, but Dreamchaser's complexity, including the Shooting Star satellite bus, means it's not quite ready. We'll definitely take them up, but the next chance will be during CERT-3. This third certification flight is expected early next year. Bruno added that EULA values its relationship with Sierra Space and looks forward to Dreamchaser's successful flight, whether it's on CERT-3 or later. Missing Vulcan's second launch is a blow for Sierra Space, but if the delay leads to a better flight, it will benefit both the company and the commercial space industry. While Dreamchaser might not launch this year, it remains adaptable. Given its versatile design, it could potentially be launched aboard a Falcon rocket. What do you think? Would Falcon Heavy or Starship be a better fit for Dreamchaser? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share with friends, and subscribe for more updates. See you next time.